Let's dive straight in.
Poisoning, October 31st, 1974. Pasadena, Texas.
8-year-old Timothy O'Brien was out trick-or-treating with his younger sister and some neighborhood kids. It was raining lightly, and their dad, Ronald O'Brien, walked with them, wearing a raincoat and holding a flashlight.
Around 8:30 p.m.
The group stopped at a house where nobody answered the door. The kids ran ahead. Ronald stayed behind, then caught up and handed them all Pixie Stix candy he said he got from that house. They got home around
9 p.m.
Before bed, Timothy asked for one more piece of candy. His dad gave him the Pixie Stix. The powder inside was clumpy, so Ronald helped push it into his mouth. Within seconds, Timothy said it tasted bitter. Then he started puking, convulsing, and screaming that his stomach hurt. His dad held him as he went limp.
By 10 p.m.
At the hospital, Timothy was dead. Doctors smelled an almond-like odor coming from his mouth. Tests confirmed it. Cyanide poisoning. The whole town panicked. Parents tore through their kids' candy bags. Police grabbed every Pixie Stix from the kids Ronald had given them. 5 in total. 4 unopened, one that killed Timothy. Each tube had enough cyanide to kill multiple adults. Investigators started looking at Ronald O'Brien. Things didn't add up. No one at that house handed out Pixie Stix. No one remembered seeing him get them. Then more details surfaced. Ronald was $100,000 in debt. He was months behind on car payments. His home was at risk of foreclosure. And just months before Halloween, he bought life insurance policies on both his kids, totaling $60,000. Police dug deeper. They found he had asked around at chemical stores about where to buy cyanide, and he'd recently taken out even more insurance right before Halloween. They also learned that the stapled ends of the Pixie Stix were resealed by hand, not machine.
On November 5th, Ronald was arrested.
He never confessed. He blamed some anonymous boogeyman neighbor. Nobody believed him.
June 3rd, 1975.
Ronald O'Brien was found guilty of capital murder. The media called him the Candyman and the man who killed Halloween. He was executed by lethal injection
on March 31st, 1984.
Parents across America stopped trusting Halloween candy after this. Cities even started X-raying treats. One dad killed his own son just for money and nearly killed 4 other kids too.
Gunshot. October 31st, 1957, Los Angeles, California. It was around 9 p.m.
in a quiet suburb. 35-year-old Peter Fabiano had just finished handing out candy and was closing up for the night. His wife, Betty, and their teenage daughter were upstairs when the doorbell rang again. It was late, but Peter grabbed a bowl of candy and opened the door. Standing there was someone in a cheap Halloween mask, holding a paper bag like a trick-or-treater. Before Peter could say anything, the person pulled out a .38 revolver and shot him once in the chest. He collapsed instantly. His wife heard the gunshot and ran downstairs. Peter was lying in a pool of blood at the front door. He was dead before the ambulance came. At first, police thought it was a random robbery or Halloween prank gone wrong, but nothing was stolen. No signs of forced entry, just one bullet, one killer, and it felt personal. A neighbor reported seeing a getaway car, a 1951 Ford, driving off right after the gunshot. Investigators traced it to a woman named Joan Rebel. She was a photographer and had been a close friend of Peter's wife. Police interviewed her. She denied everything, but something was off. Then they traced the gun to another woman, Goldine Pizer, a quiet, mild-mannered hospital worker. She cracked under pressure. Goldine told police that Joan convinced her to kill Peter. Joan had a grudge against him. She was rumored to have had a romantic relationship with Peter's wife, Betty. Peter found out and forced Betty to cut contact with Joan. Joan wanted revenge. So Joan bought a costume, mask, gloves, coat. Goldine practiced with the gun. On Halloween night, Joan drove the car. Goldine walked up to the door and rang the bell. When Peter answered, she pulled the trigger. Goldine told police she thought she was doing something to help Joan. She said she felt like I was in a dream.
Sister murder. October 31st, 1981, Amarillo, Texas.
It was just after midnight at St. Francis Convent. Most of the nuns were already asleep. 63-year-old sister Tadea Benz was in her small second-floor room, saying her nightly prayers before bed. Across the street, 17-year-old Johnny Frank Garrett was drunk and high. He'd spent part of the night at a Halloween party.
Around 2 a.m.,
He climbed a tree near the convent wall, broke in through a window, and crept through the silent hallways. Sister Benz's door was unlocked. Investigators later believed she woke up as he entered. The room showed signs of a struggle. She was beaten, raped, and strangled. The attack was brutal and quick.
by 3 a.m.,
She was dead in her bed, rosaries still tangled in her fingers.
around 6 a.m.,
Another nun came to wake Sister Benz for morning prayers. She found her body cold, bruised, and twisted in the sheets. Her face was swollen. The pillow was soaked with blood. The convent called the police immediately. Detectives searched the building and found a broken window and footprints outside. Inside, they found fingerprints on a headboard and a kitchen knife missing from the convent's drawer. The town was stunned. A nun, murdered in a place meant to be safe and holy, on Halloween night. Police questioned locals. Someone mentioned Johnny Garrett, a troubled teenager known to break into homes. Officers went to his house. He was asleep in his bed. His clothes from the night before were still on the floor, stained with blood. Fingerprints matched. So did hair samples. Neighbors said they saw him wandering near the convent.
around 1:30 a.m.,
His own family admitted he came home acting strange, sweaty, and shook up. Johnny denied everything. He said he didn't remember parts of the night. Police didn't buy it. He was arrested within 24 hours. The town was divided. Some saw a monster, others saw a kid who snapped. But the brutal scene spoke for itself. A nun who spent decades helping the sick and poor was killed in her own bedroom while holding a crucifix. Halloween in Amarillo changed after that. Doors stayed locked, curtains stayed closed, and the quiet stone convent became the site of one of Texas's most shocking murders. Different culture.
October 17th, 1992, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
It wasn't Halloween night yet, but the whole neighborhood was already throwing costume parties. 2 Japanese exchange students, Yoshihiro Hattori, 16, and his host family's son, Webb Haymaker, 17, were invited to one. Yoshihiro wore a white tuxedo jacket like from the movie Saturday Night Fever. Webb wore a necktie and jeans. They left
Around 8 p.m.,
with directions written on paper. They messed up the address by 1 digit. They walked up to the wrong house, the home of Rodney and Bonnie Piers. The porch light was off, no party decorations. Still, they walked to the front door. Bonnie looked through the window and saw 2 teenage boys she didn't know. She panicked, thought they were intruders, slammed the door, and screamed for her husband, "Get the gun!" Yoshi and Webb didn't understand what was happening. They stepped back into the driveway. Yoshi smiled, thinking they were just at the wrong house, and walked forward again, saying, "We're here for the party." Rodney Piers opened the carport door. He was holding a .44 Magnum revolver. He shouted, "Freeze!" Yoshi didn't understand the word. He kept walking forward, smiling, hands open like he meant no harm. 1 second later, the gun went off. The bullet hit Yoshihiro in his chest, tore through his lung. He fell onto the pavement. Webb screamed for help. Bonnie called 911, but Rodney didn't try to help. He just said, "I told him to freeze." EMS arrived.
at 8:34 p.m.,
Yoshihiro was still alive but bleeding heavily. They tried CPR all the way to the hospital. He died that night. Police questioned Rodney. He said he thought the boys were burglars. Webb said Yoshi was just confused and smiling, not attacking anyone. Yoshi was unarmed, holding only a small camera. The case blew up internationally. Japanese news called it an American horror story. Yoshi's parents flew to Louisiana and stood at the spot where he died, leaving flowers in silence. People argued. Was it self-defense or overreaction? A language barrier or fear with a trigger? Whatever the reason, a teenager who just wanted to go to a Halloween party was shot dead on a stranger's driveway for walking up to the wrong address. Disappearance.
October 31st, 1998, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It was around 6:30 p.m.
Cold. Leaves blowing across the streets. 9-year-old Lisa French put on her bright orange windbreaker, a black witch hat, and headed out to trick or treat. She told her mom she'd only go to 3 houses, all neighbors they knew. She never came back.
By 7:15 p.m.,
Her mom started worrying. Houses had shut their porch lights. Kids were heading inside. Lisa still wasn't home. Her mom walked the streets calling her name. Nothing.
by 8 p.m.,
Police were called. Neighbors said they saw Lisa walking alone, smiling with her candy bag. Her last stop was the house of Gerald Turner, a quiet 25-year-old man who lived alone. People called him Jerry. Police knocked on his door that night. He answered, calm, said he hadn't seen Lisa. They looked around. Nothing suspicious. The whole city searched through the night. Flashlights, dogs, volunteers combing fields and ditches. No sign. 3 days later,
November 3rd,
a farmer found a large plastic bag in a field outside town. Inside were Lisa's clothes, covered in blood. Hours later, her body was discovered nearby, stuffed in another garbage bag. Autopsy showed she had been sexually assaulted and suffocated. Police went back to Turner's house. This time they found clues. Fibers from his bedroom carpet matched fibers on Lisa's clothes. Bloodstains in his house matched her blood type. A neighbor said Turner's lights were on late that night. Unusually late. Turner finally cracked. He wrote a confession letter, admitting Lisa came to his door and he invited her inside. He said he lost control. After killing her, he hid her body in a garbage bag, stored it in his bedroom, then dumped it in the field.
at 3 a.m.,
The town was in shock. Halloween decorations were taken down. Parents didn't let kids trick-or-treat alone ever again. Kids started using the phrase Lisa's Law, meaning you never go inside anyone's house, even people you think you know. A little girl walked out the front door for candy and never made it home. One man changed Halloween for that entire town, forever. Halloween murder.
October 31st, 1977, Lawton, Oklahoma.
It was just
After 3 a.m.,
when 19-year-old Nima Louise Carter was last seen alive. She had stayed home handing out candy earlier that night, then went to bed in her small apartment. She was a young mother, her 8-month-old baby asleep in a crib across the room.
around 4 a.m.,
A neighbor heard faint crying. Not a scream, just soft, strange wailing. Nobody called the police. By morning, Nima was gone. Her apartment door was still locked. No signs of forced entry. The baby was still in the crib, hungry and crying. Her car was still outside, purse untouched. It looked like she vanished into thin air. Police first thought she might have run off, but her shoes, keys, and coat were still inside. A search started through Halloween morning. Neighbors, cops, dogs, nothing. 3 days later,
November 3rd,
a group of kids playing near an abandoned house on Cooper Street smelled something rotten. They looked through a broken window and saw a blanket. Inside it, Nima's body. She was strangled, folded into a bedroom closet like someone hid a doll. Her baby survived, left alone for almost 12 hours. But Nima never walked back into that room. Investigators started looking at people close to her. Someone stood out. David Stanford, a young man who had borrowed Nima's car before and often hung around her apartment. He had a reputation for breaking in through windows. A week before Halloween, he was caught staring through her curtains at night. Police questioned him. He said he was home sleeping. They asked more. He cracked. He described the apartment layout perfectly. The spot where the crib was, the blanket on her bed, even the cracked window pane only someone inside could see. He said he just wanted to talk, and when she refused, things got violent. Police believe he snuck in through a window, smothered her so she wouldn't scream, strangled her, then carried her body to the abandoned house. All while her baby cried in the next room. Halloween in Lawton changed after that. Parents didn't care about poisoned candy or strangers. They worried about the people they already knew, the ones standing right next to them. A young mom died on Halloween night while her baby watched from a crib, and nobody heard anything loud enough to stop it.